I wanted to speak a little bit about business and finances and behaviors and relationships and how they can connect with you either being successful or being a failure in your business ventures. And it all boils down to perspective and adaptability. Let's say you were raised in a certain way and raised in a certain socioeconomic status, and that's the way you spent your adult life. But at some time in your life, you decided, you know what, I want just a little bit more than what I'm getting right now. I want to live comfortably when I get older. I don't want to wait till I'm too old to work and have to worry about where my next meal is coming from. So I think I'm going to go ahead and open up a business. Now, first of all, you need to come up with a business plan, and this is the mistake that a lot of people make. And a business plan doesn't have to be super fancy, but if you go onto different sites like SBA.gov, which is the Small Business Administration, if you go on different sites that word processing programs, they will actually have a document that outlines the business plan and what you need to fill out. If you go on different sites, I believe Forbes and Entrepreneur magazine, I believe they have it on their website where you can, see what a sample business plan looks like. But I know for a fact that some of the government agencies like SBA, the DBE, which is the Disadvantaged Business Administration, they have forms that you can use to fill out to outline what a business plan is. Just simply Google business plan samples so you can see what it is, because as I stated before, when you put things down on paper, what you're doing is manifesting what you're thinking, and you're breathing life into it. You're making it tangible. So it always helps to write these things down. So a lot of people may have a product or a service that they're good at, and they didn't write down a business plan. And part of that business plan is outlining your demographic, who you're going to market your products to, what's the age group, income levels if that applies, geographic regions. Do you have that written down as to what you're going to do? Or are you going to be global? Write down that you're going to be global. And then after you find out what your audience is, then you have to write down how you're going to reach your audience. Are you going to do it face to face? Are you going to do it virtual? Are you going to do different seminars in person or online? Are you going to provide product samples? That's all part of the marketing. The purpose of a business plan allows you to go step by step and make you think about how you're going to operate your business. And you'd be surprised how many people who have businesses right now never had a business plan, but they're still struggling. And what happens with a lot of people is, especially ones that were raised up in a very small world, quote unquote, they never had the skills to adapt. They never been exposed to more than one type of people. They'd never been exposed to different environments. So when they go into business, they're taking those same ideas with them in business, and they're restricting access to potential customers and clients based on their viewpoints. And that can cost you a lot of money. Imagine, let's say that you have a store and you sell, let's say, perfumes and bath soaps and candles and things like that. Let's say you have a scent shop and you place it in a regular working class neighborhood, but that neighborhood is very diverse. You got people from different religions, different countries. It's a multicultural neighborhood, but it's thriving. People are constantly buying. You have a good product. You wrote out a business plan. You went ahead and got whatever, if you got a loan, you got the loan. You allocated your funds. You got enough staff. It was very presentable. But the thing is, you will see within 6 months, you're probably shutting your doors because you are not marketing to a diverse enough group of people. It's not about what religion you are. It's not about what sexual orientation you are when it comes to business. It's not about what socioeconomic status you have as a business. Is not that deep if you're a businessman. Your bottom line is to sell your product and to make that money. The only color you should worry about is green, and how much and how often you should get it so you could be successful. You can't worry about whether or not you sell. Oh, I'm just only going to sell only to black people. I'm only going to sell only to this group of people. If you're going to do that, you might be successful with that group of people, but understand that there's going to be a cap on how much you make. And if you're okay with that, fine, be happy. Now, if it's a business that targets a certain group of people and your product targets a certain group of people, that's different. But I'm talking about things that everybody uses, like soaps and candles and coffees and beverages, things that everybody uses regardless of where they came from, what denomination or anything like that. And you want to specify who you'll sell your coffee to. You opened up your shop you open your coffee shop in a multicultural neighborhood, and you mean to tell me you only want certain people to come in your shop? Everybody drinks coffee who's a coffee drinker. It doesn't matter where they come from, who they're associated with, or their sexual orientation. If you're running a business, is none of your business. Your business is whether or not you were able to get customers, especially when you're first starting out. Now, like I said, if it's a product that is specially geared towards that group, that's different. I'm talking about regular everyday things. If you're a mechanic, okay, let's say you're a mechanic in a neighborhood that needs a mechanic because they haven't had a good mechanic within 10, 15 miles, and people have cars. So you are already at an advantage because you're in an area where that service is scarce. People are glad to have you in the neighborhood. They come from all these different backgrounds and ethnicities and everything else. But that's not your business. Your business is to repair cars. So the thing is that you just want to make sure that you get the repair services from that person on their vehicle. Their personal life and where they come from and how they look is none of your business. Now, I know that's easy to say because you probably know some people that have been in business for years and they don't like this and they don't like that. Okay, that's fine. There's a lot of them that express their concern personally, but guess what? When it's time for them to open up that door and turn on that open sign, all that goes out the window. They're like, okay, well, I feel that way personally, but I know I got to make this money today. That's business. And if you haven't been exposed to different types of people, and you haven't been exposed to different situations, then be prepared to stay on the block for the rest of your life, only earning so much a day from a certain group of people. But if you have a vision where you want to go global with this thing, there's a difference between dealing with locals and dealing with the world. It doesn't matter where you live. You could live in Pocatello, Idaho, Timbuktu, India. You could live New York City. It doesn't matter what size it is. If you want to do local and get that local money. And if that's enough to satisfy you, be happy, fine. But if you're not satisfied and you want more, you're going to have to expand your operation to include areas that you are not accustomed to. And you got to be able to relate to these people on that level. That's how come you hear a lot of situations where people get on places like Facebook Marketplace and things like that, and they'll offer products. But a lot of them, they don't want to deal with certain people who come from different areas. Well, what you're selling it for? When you're on social media, you're exposing everything to the world. The whole world can see what's going on. How many times have you guys, even if you haven't been selling a product, how many times have you gone on Instagram or somewhere and you've seen a product, and then when you try to read a description, you don't understand what it says because it's in another language, but it's a good product? So don't go on areas that is exposed to people in different areas and parts of the world, and don't offer a product in that arena if you don't want to relate to that type of customer. Don't do it, because your bottom line is going to suffer. You have to be flexible and adaptable if you want to go global. That's all that is to it. And if you do, appeal to a certain group of people, it's not your intent, but that might be the end result. Okay, that's fine. But there's a huge difference. And what you might want to do is you might want to watch my video called "Are You a Big Fish in a Little Pond?" Because you have a lot of cases where people have this bomb product in their little town, and then they decide out of the blue, I'm going to go global. You live in a city where the population is only 2,753 people, and half of them are your relatives, and you have a bomb product. And you decide you're going to go on Instagram and start selling your product because you set up your website and everything else, and you have a good product. But then when you start getting these offers in and these orders and people asking questions, because a lot of times before people buy anything, they're going to ask questions, and you act like you don't want to relate to them because of where they come from, how they look, and what nationality they are, you are not a professional business person. Because you know what's going to happen with them? They're not going to go back and forth with you. They're going to click off your product, go to Google, and type in the words similar to da da da. Let's say that you're selling some candles or something like that, but you don't want to sell to people from a certain country. You got issues for whatever reason. Those might be the main people that are willing to buy, and they'll come to you and inbox you and everything else, asking questions, want description, whether or not you have a volume discount, whether or not you have a referral discount, whether or not you have any, when are there going to be some new ones? Do you have a mailing list? Just asking general questions, and you don't want to relate to them. You look at their profile and they be, oh, they're from so and so. I don't want to talk to them. That's not professional, people. And you think you're hurting their feelings by being on your soapbox about what you think is right? That person's going to turn around and do, especially if you don't reply back within a day or two, they're going to click off your product. And let's say your product is called the bubblegum candle. You came up with candles that smell like different types of bubblegum. This is just an idea now. They're going to go into Google and type in the words products similar to bubblegum flavored candles. And there's going to be a whole bunch of companies just like yours that's going to come up, and they're going to order their candle from somewhere else. So you just lost a sale. Adaptability, you need that. So before you talk about going global, you got to understand what that means. There are different people in different cultures in different parts of the world that were created by one creator, the same creator that you worship and give thanks to every single day. Be prepared to do business with some of these people. Some of them might want to collaborate with you. Some of them might want to be a distributor. Some of them might own a chain of stores or something and might want to distribute your product. But because of your narrow views and your narrow viewpoints, because you wasn't exposed to nothing, you wasn't taught to appreciate the differences in people, your behind's going to possibly miss out on a multi-million-dollar order because you can't get out your own damn head. This is a classic case of someone being their own worst enemy. You're going to go broke behind that shit. So before you say you're going to go global with a product, understand there's a huge amount of responsibility with that. And also, when you go global and you start making more money, don't think it's going to be a one-man show for the rest of your life. Eventually, you're going to have to hire some help because as the volume increases, you're going to need that, and you're going to have to be able to trust the people you're dealing with. So just keep that in mind. I don't know why that came on my mind. I think it was just something I was watching on TV. I was watching a movie, and it wasn't about that particular situation, but the idea came to me, and I thought I'd just put it out there because there's a lot of people out here that have a lot of talent and everything, but it's just that the way that they approach business is just not professional at all. And if you feel you don't have those skills, take a course. Go to a seminar, communication between businessmen and customers. Learn those skills so you can deal with people. Because folks nowadays, they can get online and find whatever they want. And if they can't get what they want when they want it, they will find it somewhere else. Just saying.